nervous, but I brought a luck for myself, which I'm going to talk about it also. I brought this from Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro, and I give the name of my speech, The Sunsets Different in Everywhere, about my journey to Brazil. This year was a real different one for me. I had known a lot of people, I had been in a lot of different activities. I was in different countries for a long time, like Brazil. And the most challenging one was for me was my journey to Brazil. Like Alper said, I'm 18 years old and 19. I spent 7 weeks in Brazil on my own, and I made a social project to teach children about human rights, environment, and global issues without knowing Portuguese. Maybe you know, in Brazil, most of the people don't know speaking English, and children, of course, don't know. And my first challenge was to learn Portuguese and to be there and teach them how to be a good man or woman. But I'm not really good at learning languages. I always considered myself, come on, I'm so bad. I cannot just learn languages. But when I went to Brazil and I spent there 7 weeks, I started to learn languages, the Portuguese language, and I just loved it. It's such a beautiful language, and I really liked it, so I tried hard to learn it, and I started to learn. So that was the first thing I changed, not first thing, but one of the biggest things I changed for myself when I was in Brazil. I learned a lot of culture, and I actually learned that Turkish people are definitely not really different from Brazilian people. What Turkish people like most to do? They like doing nothing. And I saw that also in Brazil too. When I went there, it was winter because of the time conflict, and even though it was winter, the students were home, not doing anything. Why? Because they were in strike, the teachers. Because the government weren't paying enough to them, they just lay in their houses and they do nothing, and students do the same. Yeah, that's probably why they are not so developed country. But today, most of my aim was dependent on explaining my best day in Brazil. We went to a city in there called Baltera, which was abandoned. That country was built for growing rubber trees, and the family of Ford made that. But after that, they realized that they did some small mistakes that they need to abandon the city. They built the plants wrongly, they did it in a wrong place, and all things. So they abandoned the city. So we went to the city, and it was so beautiful, and no one was in there, so it was like a ghost city. And we saw a bench in there, and the bench was looking at a really gorgeous view. Think about it. The bench, it was in a high place, and you can see like countless number of trees in there, and at the end there's a beautiful sea, and the sun sets. So, in that time, we were talking about our lives, what we did, and how was our times. And one of us asked that, what would be the one thing you would like to say to the world if you had one chance? And of course, all of us said different things because we were coming from other countries and everything. And I thought to myself, and I realized that just one thing in my life changed everything for me. I realized that one thing was always with me, always supporting me, always there for me. That was my mom. She's always there when I need it. She's always helping, always giving positive things to me. So that sunset day, I said to the world, and I want everyone to know that I love my mom most in my life. Thank you.